Hi everybody. I would like to introduce you and present you one article that seems to me to be very important. It's regarding Mark Zuckerberg and relating blockchain adoption and coin referring. This topic is a privacy-focused vision for social networking. My focus for the last couple of years has been understanding and addressing the biggest challenges facing Facebook. This means taking position on important issues concerning the future of the Internet. In this note, I will outline our vision on principles around building a privacy-focused messaging and social networking platform. There is a lot to do here, and we are committed to working openly and consulting with experts across society as we develop this. Over the last 15 years, Facebook and Instagram have helped people connect with friends, communities, and interest in the digital equivalent of a town square. But people increasingly also want to connect privately in the digital equivalent of the living room. As I think about the future of the Internet, I believe a privacy-focused communication platform will become even more important than today's open platform. Privacy gives people the freedom to be themselves and connect more naturally, which is why we build social networks. Today, we already see that private messaging, ephemeral stories and small groups are by far the fastest growing areas of online communication. There are a number of reasons for this. Many people prefer the intimacy of communication, one-on-one, or with just a few friends. People are more cautious of having a permanent record of what they have shared, and will all expect to be able to do things like payment privately and securely. Public social network will continue to be very important in people's lives for connecting with everyone you know, discovering new people, ideas, and content, and giving people a voice more broadly. People find this valuable every day, and there are still a lot of useful services to build on top of them. But now, with all the ways people also want to interact privately, there is also an opportunity to build a simpler platform that is focused on privacy first. I understand that many people don't think Facebook can or would even want to build this kind of privacy-focused platform because, frankly, we don't currently have a strong reputation for building privacy protective services, and we have historically focused on tools for more open sharing. But we have repeatedly shown that we can evolve to build the services that people really want, including in private messaging and stories. I believe the future of communication will increasingly shift to private, encrypted services where people can be confident, what they say to each other stays secure, and their messages and content won't stick around forever. This is a future I hope we will help bring about. We plan to build this the way we have developed WhatsApp. Focus on the most fundamental and private use case messaging. Make it as secure as possible and then build more ways for people to interact on top of that, including calls, video chat, group story, businesses, payment, commerce, and ultimately a platform for many other kinds of private services. This privacy-focused platform will be built around several principles. First, private interaction, People should have simple, intimate places where they have clear control over who can communicate with them and confidence that not one else can access what they share. Encryptation. People's private communication should be secure. End-to-end encryptation prevents anyone's, including us, from seeing what people share on our services. In addition, reducing permanence. People should be comfortable being themselves and should not have to worry about what they share coming back to hurt them later. So we won't keep messages or stories around for longer than necessary to deliver the service or longer than people want them. In addition, focus on safety. Mark Zuckerberg would focus on safety. People should expect that we will do everything we can to keep them safe on our services within the limit of what's possible is an encrypted service. Interoperability. I invite you to consult my ebook. I discuss about this in English and in French, en français. Cet ouvrage est traduit dans les deux langues. Interoperability. People should be able to use any of our apps to reach their friends, and they should be able to communicate across networks easily and securely. Secure data storage. It's another important point that Mark Zuckerberg would like to focus on. People should expect that we won't store sensitive data in countries with weak records on human rights like privacy and freedom of expression in order to protect data from being improperly accessed. Over the next few years, we plan to rebuild more of our services around these ideas. The decision we will face along the way will mean taking position on important issues concerning the future of the Internet. We understand there are a lot of trade-offs to get right, and we are committed to consulting with experts and discussing the best way forward. This will take some time, but we are not going to develop this major change in our direction behind closed door. We are going to do this as openly and collaboratively as we can, because many of these issues affect different parts of our society. In addition, focus on private interaction as a foundation. For a service to feel private, there must never be any doubt about who you are communicating with. We have worked hard to build privacy into all our products, including those for public sharing. But one great property of messaging services is that even as your contact list grows, your individual threads on groups remain private. As your friends evolve over time, messaging services evolve gracefully and remain intimate. This is different from broader social network, where people can accumulate friends and followers until the services feel more public. This is well suited to many important uses. Telling all your friends about something, using your voice on important topics, finding communities of people with similar interests, following creators on media, buying and selling things, organizing fundraisers, growing businesses, or many other things that benefit from having everyone you know in one place, then public. Still, when you see all these experiences together, it feels more like a town square than a more intimate space like a living room. There is an important opportunity to build a platform that focuses on all of the ways people want to interact privately. This sense of privacy and intimacy is not just about technical feature. It is designed deeply into the feel of the service overall. In WhatsApp, for example, our team is obsessed with creating an intimate environment in every aspect of the product. Even where we have built features that allow for broader sharing, it's still a less public experience. When the team build group, they put in a size limit to make sure every interaction felt private. When we shipped stories on WhatsApp, we limited public content because we worried it might erode the feeling of the privacy to see a lot of public content, even if it didn't actually change who you are sharing with. In a few years, I expect future versions of Messenger on WhatsApp to become the main ways people communicate on the Facebook network. We are focused on making both of these apps faster, simpler, more private, and more secure, including with end-to-end encryption. We then plan to add more ways to interact privately with your friends, group, and businesses. If this evolution is successful, interacting with your friends and family across the Facebook network will become a fundamentally more private experience. Now, he explained that it focuses about encryption and safety. Mark Zuckerberg explained, people expect their private communications to be secure and to only be seen by the people they have sent them to, not hackers, criminals, overreaching governments, or even the people operating the services that they are using. There is a growing awareness that the more entities that have access to our data, to your data, the more vulnerabilities there are for some people, for someone to misuse it or for a cyber attack to expose it. There is also a growing concern among some that technology may be centralizing power in the hands of governments and companies like ours. And some people worry that our services could access their messages and use them for advertising or in other way they don't expect. End-to-end encryption is an important tool in developing a privacy-focused social network. Encryption is decentralizing its limit services like ours from seeing the content flowing through them and make it much harder for anyone else to access your information. This is why encryption is one increasingly important part of our online life. From banking to healthcare services. It's also why we build end-to-end encryption into WhatsApp after we acquire it. In the last year, I have spoken with dissidents who have told me encryption is the reason they are free or even alive. Governments often make unlawful demands for data, and while we push back and fight this request in court, there is always a risk. We will lose a case, and if the information isn't encrypted, we either have to turn over the data or risk our employees being arrested if we fail to comply. This may seem extreme, but we have had a case where one of our employees was actually jailed for not providing access to someone's private information, even though we couldn't access it since it was encrypted. At the same time, there are real safety concerns to address before we can implement one-to-one encryption across all of our messaging services. Encryption is a powerful tool for privacy, but that includes the privacy of people doing bad things. When billions of people use the service to connect, some of them are going to misuse it for truly terrible things like child exploitation, terrorism, and extortion. Let's see my ebook regarding AML, what I'm calling AML, anti-money laundering, if my business. We have a responsibility to work with law enforcement and to help prevent this wherever we can. We are working to improve our ability to identify and stop bad actors across our apps by detecting patterns of activity or through other means, even when we can't see the content of the messages, and we will continue to invest in this work. But we face an inherent trade-off because we will never find all of the potential harm we do today when our security system can see the messages themselves. Finding the right way to protect both privacy and safety is something societies have historically grappled with. There are still many open questions here, and we will consult with safety experts, law enforcement, and government on the best way to implement safety measures. We will also need to work together with other platforms to make sure that as an industry we get this right. The more we can create a common approach, the better. One balance, I believe that working towards implementing end-to-end encryption for all private communications is the right thing to do. Messages on call are something of the most sensitive private conversation people have, and in a world of increasing cybersecurity threats and heavy-handed government intervention in many countries, people want to take the extra step to secure their most That seems right to me. As long as we take the time to build the appropriate safety system that stop bad actors as much as we possibly can within the limit of an encrypted services. We have started working in this safety system building on the work we have done in WhatsApp, and we will discuss them with experts throughout 2019 and beyond before fully implemented end-to-end encryption. As we learn more from those experts, we will finalize how to roll out this system. Reducing permanence. We increasingly believe it is important to keep information around for shorter periods of time. People want to know that what they share won't come back to hurt them later, and reducing the length of time their information is stored and accessible with help. One challenge in building social tools is the permanence problem. As we build up a large collection of messages and photos over time, they can become a liability as well as an asset. For example, many people who have been on Facebook for a long time have photos from when they were younger that could be embarrassing. But people also really love keeping a record of their life. And if all posts on Facebook and Instagram disappeared, people would lose access to a lot of valuable knowledge and experiences others have shared. I believe there is an opportunity to set a new standard for private communication platform, where content automatically expires or is archived over time. Stories already expire after 24 hours unless you archive them, and that gives people the comfort to share more naturally. This philosophy could be extended to all private content. For example, messages could be deleted after a month or a year by default. This would reduce the risk of your messages resurfacing and embarrassing you later. Of course, you have the ability to change the time frame or turn off auto-deletion for your threads if you want it. And we could also provide an option for you to set individual messages to expire after a few seconds or minutes if you want it. It also makes sense to limit the amount of time we store messaging metadata. We use this data to run our spam and safety system, but we don't always need to keep it around for a long time. An important part of the solution is to collect less personal data in the first place, which is the way WhatsApp was built from the outset. After that, a topic on interoperability. People want to be able to choose which service they use to communicate with people. However, today, if you want to message people on Facebook, you have to use Messenger. On Instagram, you have to use Direct. On WhatsApp, you have to use WhatsApp. We want to give people a choice so they can reach their friends across this network from whichever apps they prefer. We plan to start by making it possible for you to send messages to your contact using any of our services, and then to extend that interoperability to SMS as well. Of course, they would be opt-in, and you will be able to keep your account separate if you like it. There are privacy and security advantages to interoperability. For example, many people use Messenger on Android to send and receive SMS text. Those texts can be end-to-end encrypted because the SMS protocol is not encrypted, with the ability to message across our services. However, we had been able to send an encrypted message to someone's phone number in WhatsApp from Messenger. This could also improve convenience in many experiences where people use Facebook or Instagram as their social network and WhatsApp as their preferred messaging services. For example, a lot of people selling items on marketplace list their phone numbers so people can message them about buying it. That is not an ideal, because you are giving stranger your phone number. With interoperability, you would be able to use WhatsApp to receive messages sent to your Facebook account without sharing your phone number, and the buyer wouldn't have to worry about whether you prefer to be messages on one network or the other. You can imagine many simple experiences like this. A person discovers a business on Instagram and easily transitions to their preferred messaging app for secure payment and customer support. Another person wants to catch up with a friend and can send them a message that goes to their preferred app without having to think about where that person prefers to be reached. Or you simply post a story from your day across both Facebook and Instagram and can get all the replies from your friends in one place. You can already send and receive SMS text through Messenger on Android today, and we would like to extend this further in the future, perhaps including the new telecom RCS standards. However, there are several issues we will need to work through before this will be possible. First, Apple doesn't allow apps to interoperate with SMS on their device, so we had only be able to do this on Android. Second, we had need to make sure interoperability doesn't compromise the expectation of encryption that people already have using WhatsApp. Finally, it would create safety and spam vulnerabilities in an encrypted system to let people send messages from unknown app where our safety and security system couldn't see the pattern of activity. These are significant challenges, and there are many questions here that require further consultation and discussion. But if we can implement this, we can give people more choice to use their preferred service to securely reach the people they want. Secure data storage now. People want to know their data is stored securely in place they trust. Looking at the future of the internet and privacy, I believe one of the most important decisions we will make is where we will build data centers and store people's sensitive data. There is an important difference between providing a service in a country and storing people's data there. As we build our infrastructure around the world, we have chosen not to build data centers in countries that have a track record of violating humans' rights like privacy or freedom of expression. I discuss about this in my channel YePapote.global. If we build data center and store sensitive data in this country, rather than just caching non-sensitive data, it could make it easier for those governments to take people's information. Upholding this principle may mean that our services will get blocked in some countries, or that we won't be able to enter others anytime soon. That is a trade-off we are willing to make. We do not believe storing people's data in some countries is a secure enough foundation to build such important internet infrastructure on. Of course, the best way to protect the most sensitive data is not to store it at all, which is why WhatsApp doesn't store any encryption keys, and we plan to do the same with our other services going forward. But storing data in more countries also establishes a precedent that emboldens other governments to seek greater access to their citizens' data, and therefore weaken privacy and security protection for people around the world. I think it is important for the future of the internet and privacy that our industry continues to hold firm against storing people's data in place where it won't be secure. Next steps. Over the next year and beyond, there are a lot of more details and trade-offs to work through related to each of these principles. A lot of this work is in the early stages, and we are committed to consulting with experts, advocates, industry partners, and governments, including law enforcement and regulators around the world to get this decision right. At the same time, working through this principle is only the first step in building out a privacy-focused social platform. Behind that, significant thoughts need to go into all of the services we build on the top of that foundation, from how people do payment and financial transactions, to the role of businesses and advertising, to how we can offer a platform for other private services. But these initial questions are critical to get right. If we do this well, we can create platforms for private sharing that could be even more important to people than the platforms we have already built to help people share and connect more openly. Doing this means taking position on some of the most important issues facing the future of the internet. As a society, we have an opportunity to set up out where we stand, to decide how we value private communications and who gets to decide how long and whether and where data should be stored. Then, to conclude, Mark Zuckerberg precise, I believe we should be working towards a world where people can speak privately and live freely, knowing that their information will only be seen by who they want to see it and won't all stick around forever. If we can help move the world in this direction, I will be proud of the difference we have made.